Shalom. Call Halayim La Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, to the Akim doing the work in truth and sincerity, as well as the few Akwat that listen and learn. This is Brother Shawar with a quick lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And I just wanted to get into this, all the stuff that Kanye West has been talking about. And Kanye is speaking facts, man. And, Kanye has obviously had, he was a big part of Esau's system, the music industry. And, obviously he's probably done a lot of, wicked things behind the scenes and whatnot. Said a lot of crazy things. But nonetheless, right now, he's probably at a point where, he's just like, fuck it. He's he's like, it is what it is. And he's fed up, and he's probably been wanting to let all this stuff out for a while. A lot of these artists and people, in these big industries, whether it be, athletes, rappers, musicians, or actors, a lot of them, they don't speak out on stuff because they know Esau will come after them and take them out, or their family, if they do. Because we know, man, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and even regular people know that Esau, everything he set up, man, is wicked. All this these industries and, everything is wicked, man. There's a greater agenda behind this to push wickedness on the Israelites and the people. And Kanye speaking out, man. He basically was, if you look on Fox News, he was going in on pretty much a lot of the wickedness on Esau's his system, and these industries. But I really wanted to get into what he said about, the anti-Sim, term, and then the so-called black people being the Jews. And he's absolutely correct. And, he's a little bit off, but nonetheless, this is biblical prophecy, because the truth is being put out to the forefront, man. It's going to get to a point where everybody is going to know, everybody's going to be confronted, at least, of the truth. They're going to be confronted with the fact that the so-called Negros, Latinos, and Native Americans are the Hebrew Israelites. And those so-called, or those Jewish people who proclaim to be the people of the Lord are not the people of the Lord. They are not, man. And they made that term anti-Sem, who is Sem? Sem isn't even in the scriptures. It's Shem. We cannot be anti ourselves, but not anyway. They made that term it's just a deflection, an agenda word to deflect and to run away from actually having to go into real history and real scripture to prove their claim. That's all it is, man. And when you have the power to control the narrative, you can do stuff like that. And that's kind of the same thing as cancel culture. Esau Edom, has this thing, everybody knows cancel culture is just, you can't say certain things that go against the agenda that's being pushed. And if you do, then automatically you don't even have to say anything, bad in particular. It could just be your opinion about whatever it is that's being pushed. And if it doesn't go with what they want, if it's not uplifting it, then you're labeled all these different things, and you're quote unquote canceled, and your business is ruined, your image, all that stuff, man. They might even go as far as taking you out. And Kanye is probably at a point where he's like, it is what it is. So, but it's all the spirit of the Lord at the end of the day. And Salakia, I know I'm talking a lot, but he talked about a lot of things, and the truth is coming out to the forefront. So I want to pull up his tweet. He tweeted, I think he deleted it though, because he's tweeting a bunch of different stuff. But he did tweet this, and I want to read it, and then we'll get some scriptures and then close it out. So his tweet says, "I'm a bit sleepy tonight, but when I wake up, I'm going to DEFCON 3, I don't know, I think they bleeped it out, or I don't know if it's spaces or they blocked something out, but DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. The funny thing is I actually can't be anti-Sem, because so-called black people are actually Jew also, correct? And it's not only so-called black people who are the Israelites, it's the Native Americans and the Latinos as well, and the Israelite foreigners, because due to the curses, biblical prophecy lets us know, in Deuteronomy 28 and various scriptures, it lets us know the Israelites were scattered amongst all the nations. So there's Israelites that look like other nations, but their lineage and their seed line goes back to that of an Israelite, and that's how the Lord operates. Numbers 1:18 tells us that your family line, your pedigree is determined by the seed of your father, because the man has the seed. That's what determines nationality. The mother is like the land, they just nurture the seed. So he's absolutely correct on that. And he said, you guys have toyed with me and tried to blackball anyone, whoever opposes your agenda, correct? And that's what they do, as I said earlier, that's the cancel culture thing. Anything that goes against Esau Edom's agenda is, they try and cancel it, they demonize you, whatever. But see, the truth is being spread, man. The truth is really starting with the, the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahshua, starting with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, going all the way back to Abba Bivens in the 60s and 70s. That's when the truth really started to, come back in the earth, and, the last days of the last days began. But the truth is out there, man, all over the world, and it's in the forefront of mainstream media. And, Kanye is a lot of people, millions of people are going to see this. And eventually, again, everybody's going to be confronted with the facts. Of course, there's going to be scoffers and scorners and unbelievers and, just fools who ignore facts and prophecy and all that stuff. But the truth is still going to stand at the end of the day. So let's get a few scriptures and then I'll close this out. So this is Baruch 2, and we'll start at 29. It reads, if you will not hear my voice, surely this very great multitude shall be turned into a small number among the nations, where I will scatter them, as I mentioned earlier. Verse 30, for I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities they shall remember themselves, and shall know that I am the Lord their power, for I will give them an heart and ears to hear. And this is what's happening. Even though Kanye doesn't have 100% truth, and he's not calling on the names of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, the fact that the Israelites are, you're hearing the talk of the people of the Lord being so-called Negros, Latinos, and Native Americans, is the fact that, is proof that this is happening. Everybody's being, it's popping up everywhere, man. People are hearing about it. Israelites are starting to wake up more and more. The prophets are here. They've been here. But regular Israelites, everyday Israelites are starting to know who they are. They're starting to learn a little bit about where they come from, man, and that they're actually the people of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, the people of God, the sons of God. So this is happening, man. And it's beautiful to see, because we know that in the last days, this is what would happen. So it's another indication that we are in the last days of Esau's rulership, right? And then comes the kingdom of heaven, which is for the Israelites. So let's continue. Verse 31. No, first, Salakia, verse 32. And they shall praise me in the land of their captivity, and think upon my name, right? Because the name wasn't given because that's how another reason how the name isn't Jesus Christ. That's a Greek, idol, going back to the Borgia family, and them painting Cesare Borgia as the Messiah. I think it was the 15th Pope, 14th or 15th Pope, and that was his son. But nonetheless, that's where that comes from, man. That's not the true image and the name of the Lord. The name of the Lord is in Paleo Hebrew, man. It's Yahweh, and being the Heavenly Father, and Yahweh Shai being the only begotten Son. J is not even in ancient Hebrew, so it's impossible for the Lord's name to be that. So that's how and this name came about not too long ago. This wasn't always, you didn't always hear this name. They've been calling on Jesus for centuries. So the name is not Jesus, man. The name is Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. And now the Israelites starting with the hopeful elect, are calling upon the name of the Lord. They're sighing and crying for the abominations that that are being done in the world, for the wickedness to be delivered. They're turning back to righteousness. This is all biblical prophecy, and they're calling on the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Verse 33, and return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds, right? For they shall remember the way of their fathers, which sinned before the Lord, and I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they shall be lords of it, and I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished. Right. So going back to the promise, the Lord made with Abraham and his seed line, to have the Holy Land, the land of Israel, and dominion over the nations and the fatness of the earth, all these blessings. That was the promise that was given to the seed line of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And so the Lord is going to bring us back to that, But of course, there's destruction and deliverance that has to come, because this place, guys, has to be destroyed in order for that to happen. That's another topic for another day. But nonetheless, man, this is all biblical prophecy. The truth is being put out there in the forefront, and Kanye, for once, not for once, he said some things that's been true, but he says it in weird ways. But, he's speaking facts, man. He's speaking facts. And these gutter rats, man, these Amalekites, that's really who they are. A tribe from Esau, Edom, so-called white people, Amalek. They hide behind, this anti-Sim agenda word to, again, run away from prophecy and history that prove that they are not the people of the Lord. And we've, the men at Great Millstone, have, especially the Elder Malcolm, man. Elder Malcolm has been going in on them for years. But, various other brothers and elders have been exposing these devils and bringing out facts in history and prophecy that they are not the people of the Lord. And it's just, really all you have to do is read the curses, but other prophecies will, it's overwhelming evidence. There's references and other sources and books, definitions, and old text, artifacts. It's just, man, it's overwhelming evidence that these people are not the people of the Lord. So let's get a few scriptures, and then I'll close it out. So let's get this in 2nd Esdras. Maybe I'll just get this and then close it out. We'll see. 2nd Esdras 6:25, it reads, whosoever remaineth from all these that I have told thee shall escape and see my salvation of the end of your world, meaning the end of this age, this eon. Going into that word world, there's 3 definitions of the word world in the scriptures. So an eon is one of those, meaning an age. Basically, so like a time period. And this is Esau's age, his time period to rule, and it's about to be over. And the scriptures also say in the Apocrypha that in 2nd Esdras that Jacob or Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So we know our time is coming to rule, man. Verse 26, and the men that are received shall see it. That's the hopeful elect, who have not tasted death from their birth. And the heart of the inhabitants shall be changed and turned into another meaning. So a lot of the elect, Lord willing, we be part of that number, is going to be delivered, into those chariots and straight into, those angelic bodies, not angelic bodies, those new bodies, that are immortal, those perfect beings, that have the new covenant inside of them and in their mind, that have spiritual power. And, the Lord, because 1 Corinthians 15:50 lets us know the Lord is going to make the elect immortal. Right? So some of us, a lot of us, Lord willing, aren't going to taste death, man. That's what we want. We want to make it right through until the end, to the kingdom. Verse 27, and this is the point I wanted to grab. For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. As for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome, and the truth, which have been so long without fruit, shall be declared. And this is exactly what you're seeing. You know, and Kanye is not a prophet by any means, because the men of the Lord, like I said, starting with our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, Apostle Tahar on down, have been, you know, pushing the truth, have been, you know, out there doing the work, laboring day in and day out, week in, week out, calling on the names of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai in truth and sincerity. But truth, but corruption is being overcome, man. The truth it has now, you know, the truth, the fruit. How would I say this? The fruit of truth is now sprung throughout the earth, man. Everybody is being confronted with these facts, whether they hear or forbear, as the scriptures say, whether they get it, whether these Israelites get it or not, because the heathen aren't going to get it. This is not for them. But whether the Israelites get it or not, and the heathen, you know, some of them may understand as well and accept it, but it doesn't matter, man. The truth is the truth. It will stand at the end of the day. It's nothing is going to override the truth. The truth is always going to rise to the top. You know, every lie has an expiration date, you know, and these devils, all their lies are catching up to them. But it's the Spirit of the Lord that's really exposing them, because now is the time that the Lord is, you know, making, you know, he's uncovering their nakedness. You know, he's breaking down these strongholds, which is the lies that they've pushed on the people, the deceit. You know, because for ages, really centuries, these devils have been pushing lies and lies and lies. You know, and since they got in power, you know, they've been just covering up history, whitewashing history with movies and, you know, newspeak, all kind of stuff, man. But the Lord is revealing it all through the prophets. So, yeah, I just wanted to touch on that, man. He you know, you should watch, and I still have to watch some more of it too, but on Fox News, there's a bunch of clips of his interview. You know, he's going in. He's actually saying a lot of stuff, you know, that you wouldn't think he would say, because we know how Esau gets down when people try to expose them. But again, it's the Spirit of the Lord. Truth is being declared, man. And all these things will come to pass. You know, matter of fact, let's end on that. Yeah, because this is all prophecy, man, and all this stuff is going to come to pass, no matter what these people want to say or try to avoid. It will happen. So this is Habakkuk 2 and 3. Let's get to the point. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. So these prophecies will happen. These, you know, this empire, Babylon the Great, America will be destroyed. You know, the Israelites, starting with the elect, will be risen back up, starting with this truth, this wisdom and knowledge. You know, the elect will be delivered. The 1/3 of the nation of Israel, 2/3 will be destroyed. The kingdom of heaven will come and on earth, and the Israelites will put these heathen and these Edomites in slavery to build up the kingdom of heaven and rule for an eternity in righteousness. That is the sum of the Lord's movie, man. And this is all happening right before our eyes, because we are in the last days. So yeah, I'll close it out. And Lord willing, this was edifying, man. And like I said, you know, watch those videos on Kanye's interview, and stay circumspect, stay in the spirit, and stay prayed up. I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakodash, Shalom, Kwam Yasharala, and Abba Ball.